Do you think that you are dealing with a narcissistic boss, that maybe you are dealing with somebody who's a narcissist at work? I have been there, believe me, and I want to save you from this. So I'm going to be going over that in this video. Hey there, I'm Rebecca Zung. I am a narcissist negotiation expert. I'm also an attorney, and I have been all in this before, and I want to save you from it too. I'm here to help you break free from toxic relationships in all forms, whether it's at work, whether it's slaying the bully in a toxic relationship, in a romantic situation, whatever it is. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so that you can get notified when I release brand new videos, which is every single day. Okay, so maybe you are dealing with a toxic boss, maybe it's a toxic colleague or whatever, but in this video, I really want to tackle those signs of a narcissistic boss, because this is really one of the most horrible situations when you feel like you got to get up in the morning, you got to go in, and you just don't want to. I mean, you spend more time at work than probably anywhere else in your life. A lot of times we're sleeping, we go home at night, we spend a couple of hours before we have to go to bed, and then we got to get up and we got to do it all over again. If you're not happy at work because you have to deal with this person, it can really make your life miserable. So I want to go over the signs of narcissism at work, the signs of a narcissistic boss, so that you can spot this and then maybe start to figure out how you're going to start putting some boundaries in place, and maybe even start to create a plan for figure out if you're going to even stay in this particular situation, or maybe figure out if you're going to move on and find a different situation. All right. So obviously, you know that the DSM-5 is what they use to determine whether or not a person is a narcissist at all. And one of the signs of narcissism is a need to be the center of attention. And so if this person needs to be the center of attention, not just, I like to get attention, everybody wants to know that they matter. That doesn't make the person a narcissist. Everybody wants to know that they matter. They want to be acknowledged. That just makes a person a human, right? I mean, I'm sure you like that too. I know I like to be acknowledged. Of course, we all want to know that we matter. That's not being a narcissist. We're talking about they need to be the center of attention to the detriment of others. Not only do they need to be the center of attention, but they do this in a way that actually is hurtful to others a lot of times. And they regularly put themselves down, put other people down in order to make themselves look better. They manipulate situations to be the center of attention and make sure that they are the center of attention. I know that, when I've had narcissistic bosses, which is why I haven't had a boss in a long time, because I've owned my own company for a long time. But, when I was in situations when I had bosses before, and it was, where they were taking credit for my work or other people's work in the company, that sort of thing, or, because they had to be the center of attention, I would write articles with people and they refused to put, my name on it, and it wasn't just me, it was, other people in the company, or you do good things for the company and they don't want to acknowledge that, or they play favorites with people in the company. They pit people against each other in the company, that sort of thing. They talk bad about other people in the company. When you start to see situations like that, it is just not a good situation. They may even talk down to you. They talk badly to you. I've seen bosses where they actually are verbally abusive to employees. I've actually seen bosses say things to employees like, this is the worst piece of this I've ever seen, where it actually is like blatant like that. Or it could be more passive aggressive than that, like, is this something that you just made up? Or is this something that you actually did? Or they actually feeling like the employee is a rival of them, where they're actually afraid that the employee might somehow look better than them in some way. They're concerned about that. So maybe they just don't want the employee to shine more than they do. That sometimes is a concern. They often lack empathy for the employee, which can be a problem. Like, I actually was in a situation one time where the boss had such lack of empathy for the employees. And this particular boss was a single mom herself at one point, but then by the time we got there, her kids had been grown. But one of the other employees was a single mom. She actually, told the single mom that, her kids should take an Uber or a cab to take themselves to doctor's appointments, that she wasn't allowed to take time off, like she didn't really care, that her kids needed, if they were sick or anything like that. There was absolutely no empathy for that, completely insensitive to what was going on for this particular single mom. The bosses who are, if somebody's dog died or something, they might just be like, so what, who cares? If there's a death in the family or something, they might just be like, that we have to work. People can't just take time off. I've seen that before. They maybe they over exaggerate themselves, their accomplishments, their abilities. They actually might lie about themselves and their abilities. You might actually see them lie about their accomplishments and their abilities to clients. And that what they're saying is not true. That I've seen before as well, which is completely wrong. You might actually see them lie about numbers of what the company is doing, as far as how successful the company actually is. You might see that they don't have integrity around that. You might actually see them cheating clients, as far as cheating them out of money. That's something else that you might see a narcissistic boss doing. You might see them, taking advantage of people, taking advantage not just of clients, but taking advantage of other employees in the company as well, to get what they want. Lying to clients, lying to other people, lying to their spouses. You might see them telling their spouse that they're at work and that they haven't been at work. You might see them being with other people, that that there's cheating on their spouse, and they might ask you to cover for them, which you might feel uncomfortable about. All of these things are just not okay. And if you agree with me, just put not okay in the comments, right? So, and you might see that the boss is just constantly bragging about his or her accomplishments, bragging about how great they are, bragging about all the things that they've done in the past, and getting you to constantly acknowledge how great they are, making sure that all of the amazing things that they've done, how smart they are, how brilliant they are. Also, if they make mistakes, if if they screw up, they blame you or they blame others. They don't ever take responsibility for that. That's a really uncomfortable situation to be in. You see them that they never say sorry. They never apologize, especially if they make you take responsibility for that. And they're blaming you and they're angry at you and they're yelling at you. And you know that it's not you. You know that it was them, but yet they're yelling at you for it. And they can even be verbally and emotionally abusive toward you. And you know that it was their screw up, and that often happens. So those are just some of the things that I have seen with narcissistic bosses, making people work ridiculous hours, making people stay late, demeaning people, making people who have very amazing skills, getting them coffee just to treat them poorly, just because they can, just to show them that they have control over them, just to demean them on purpose, just to degrade them on purpose, just to personally show them that they can publicly humiliate them on purpose, triangulate people, get somebody to be angry at somebody else because they want this person to be pitted against this person. They want to make sure that these two people never become friends because they don't want these two people to ever be friends with each other. They want them both to be beholden to them and them alone, so those are just some of the things. If you've seen any of these things, I'm sure that you are probably dealing with a narcissistic boss, and it's probably a highly toxic work environment and probably not one in which you want to stay very long. And one thing that I do want you to know is that I've been in situations like that. And it's not something that you can tolerate, but there are things that you can do in the short term, which is, you can say, I will not be disrespected as a human being. And you cannot speak to me in a way that's disrespectful, and yes, I work for you, but I will be treated in a way that's respectful. And if they don't want to treat you in a way that's respectful, you don't have to stay there. There are other situations out there, and you just need to start thinking about how you're going to manifest that. Just start writing out what your perfect job is going to be for you. Start deciding that you're manifesting that, and start thinking about where it is that you want to be and what that's going to look like for you. And start deciding where it is that you want to go. And I do have phrases for disarming narcissists, by the way, which you can download at disarmthenarc.com. So go ahead and grab those. Those are totally free. Disarmthenarc.com. Grab my free phrases for disarming narcissists. Get those. And make sure you subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell. Join my free private Facebook group, which is a support group at Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. Join that as well. That will help you. My next video that I do think that you should watch is how to fight back against narcissist manipulation. And I think that'll help you as well. So just some free things that you can do in the short term, just to help you get started with what to do. Okay. And remember that today's a great day to start negotiating your best life. I'm Rebecca Zung, and I will see you in that next video.